Human Rights Council, General Assembly Resolution 6251 of 15 March 2006. The General Assembly, reaffirming the purposes and principles contained in the Charter of the United Nations, including developing friendly relations among nations based on respect for the principle of equal rights and self-determination of peoples, and achieving international cooperation in solving international problems of an economic, social, cultural or humanitarian character, and in promoting and encouraging respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms for all. Reaffirming also the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the Vienna Declaration and Programme of Action, and recalling the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, the International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights and other human rights instruments. Reaffirming further that all human rights are universal, indivisible, interrelated, interdependent and mutually reinforcing, and that all human rights must be treated in a fair and equal manner, on the same footing and with the same emphasis. Reaffirming that, while the significance of national and regional particularities and various historical, cultural and religious backgrounds must be borne in mind, all states, regardless of their political, economic and cultural systems, have the duty to promote and protect all human rights and fundamental freedoms. Emphasizing the responsibilities of all states, in conformity with the Charter, to respect human rights and fundamental freedoms for all, without distinction of any kind as to race, color, sex, language or religion, political or other opinion, national or social origin, property, birth or other status. Acknowledging that peace and security, development and human rights are the pillars of the United Nations system and the foundations for collective security and well-being, and recognizing the development, peace and security and human rights are interlinked and mutually reinforcing. Affirming the need for all states to continue international efforts to enhance dialogue and broaden understanding among civilizations, cultures and religions, and emphasizing that states, regional organizations, non-governmental organizations, religious bodies and the media have an important role to play in promoting tolerance, respect for and freedom of religion and belief. Recognizing the work undertaken by the Commission on Human Rights and the need to preserve and build on its achievements and to redress its shortcomings. Recognizing also the importance of ensuring universality, objectivity and non-selectivity in the consideration of human rights issues, and the elimination of double standards and politicization. Recognizing further that the promotion and protection of human rights should be based on the principles of cooperation and genuine dialogue and aimed at strengthening the capacity of member states to comply with their human rights obligations for the benefit of all human beings. Acknowledging that non-governmental organizations play an important role at the national, regional and international levels, in the promotion and protection of human rights. Reaffirming the commitment to strengthen the United Nations human rights machinery, with the aim of ensuring effective enjoyment by all of all human rights, civil, political, economic, social and cultural rights, including the right to development, and to that end, the resolve to create a Human Rights Council. 1. Decides to establish the Human Rights Council, based in Geneva, in replacement of the Commission on Human Rights. As a subsidiary organ of the General Assembly, the Assembly shall review the status of the Council within 5 years. 2. Decides that the Council shall be responsible for promoting universal respect for the protection of all human rights and fundamental freedoms for all, without distinction of any kind and in a fair and equal manner. 3. Decides also that the Council should address situations of violations of human rights, including gross and systematic violations, and make recommendations thereon. It should also promote the effective coordination and the mainstreaming of human rights within the United Nations system. 4. Decides further that the work of the Council shall be guided by the principles of universality, impartiality, objectivity and non-selectivity, constructive international dialogue and cooperation, with a view to enhancing the promotion and protection of all human rights, civil, political, economic, social and cultural rights, including the right to development. 5. Decides that the Council shall, inter alia, a. Promote human rights education and learning as well as advisory services, technical assistance and capacity building, to be provided in consultation with and with the consent of member states concerned. b. Serve as a forum for dialogue on thematic issues on all human rights. c. Make recommendations to the General Assembly for the further development of international law in the field of human rights. d. Promote the full implementation of human rights obligations undertaken by states and follow up to the goals and commitments related to the promotion and protection of human rights emanating from United Nations conferences and summits. e. Undertake a universal periodic review, based on objective and reliable information, of the fulfillment by each state of its human rights obligations and commitments in a manner which ensures universality of coverage and equal treatment with respect to all states. The review shall be a cooperative mechanism, based on an interactive dialogue, with the full involvement of the country concerned and with consideration given to its capacity-building needs. Such a mechanism shall complement and not duplicate the work of treaty bodies. The Council shall develop the modalities and necessary time allocation for the Universal Periodic Review mechanism within 1 year after the holding of its first session. f. Contribute, through dialogue and cooperation, towards the prevention of human rights violations and respond promptly to human rights emergencies. g. Assume the role and responsibilities of the Commission on Human Rights relating to the work of the Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, as decided by the General Assembly in its Resolution 48-141 of 20 December 1993. h. Work in close cooperation in the field of human rights with governments, regional organizations, national human rights institutions and civil society. I. Make recommendations with regard to the promotion and protection of human rights. j. Submit an annual report to the General Assembly. 6. Decides also that the Council shall assume, review and, where necessary, improve and rationalize all mandates, mechanisms, functions and responsibilities of the Commission on Human Rights in order to maintain a system of special procedures, expert advice and a complaint procedure. The Council shall complete this review within 1 year after the holding of its first session. 7. Decides further that the Council shall consist of 47 member states, which shall be elected directly and individually by secret ballot by the majority of the members of the General Assembly. The membership shall be based on equitable geographical distribution, and seats shall be distributed as follows among regional groups: Group of African states, 13 Group of Asian states, 13 Group of Eastern European states, 6 Group of Latin American and Caribbean states, 8 and Group of Western European and other states. 7 The members of the Council shall serve for a period of 3 years and shall not be eligible for immediate re-election after 2 consecutive terms. 8. Decides that the membership in the Council shall be open to all states members of the United Nations. When electing members of the Council, member states shall take into account the contribution of candidates to the promotion and protection of human rights and their voluntary pledges and commitments made thereto. The General Assembly, by a 2/3 majority of the members present and voting, may suspend the rights of membership in the Council of a member of the Council that commits gross and systematic violations of human rights. 9. Decides also that members elected to the Council shall uphold the highest standards in the promotion and protection of human rights, shall fully cooperate with the Council and be reviewed under the Universal Periodic Review mechanism during their term of membership.